It looks like just another day at the circus, but look closer. There is a hidden tragedy here that will change everything you thought you knew. Today, we're diving into a painting that's as heartbreaking as it is visually stunning. Gustave Doré's 1874 masterpiece, The Acrobats. At first glance, it might seem like a simple depiction of circus life, a family moment frozen in time. But as we dig deeper, we'll uncover a deep story of grief, struggle, and sacrifice. By the end of this journey, you'll see this painting in an entirely new light. And you also might question some things too. Let's take a moment to check it out together. Here we are, outside, in the middle of what looks like a circus camp. At the center of it all, a mother holds her child in her arms, her expression weighed down by grief. She leans in close, kissing his forehead, while her vibrant blue robe and small crown add a touch of bittersweet beauty to the scene. Beside her sits the father, dressed in a flashy red clown costume, but his posture says it all. He's slumped forward, gripping his circus slippers like they're the last thread of his identity. More to that, the family dog stares intently at the child, almost as if it understands the gravity of the moment. Scattered playing cards, a trumpet, and other props lie abandoned around them, hinting at a performance interrupted. And let's not miss the chained owl perched nearby, an eerie addition that feels full of hidden meaning. At first, it might just seem like a quiet break between acts. But the longer you look, the more the details pull you in, and it becomes painfully clear. This isn't just an ordinary day at the circus. What happened? Let's unpack some of the rich symbolism in The Acrobats. One of the most striking symbols is the mother's attire. She's dressed in flowing blue garments, and a small golden crown rests on her head. On one hand, the crown could represent the imagined regality of performers in the eyes of the crowd. On the other hand, it's a bitter reminder that no amount of perceived royalty can shield you from suffering. Her blue robe, a color often linked to tranquility, is at odds with the intensity of her grief. It's almost as if she's trying to maintain composure, but the weight of reality is too much to bear. Now, let's talk about the father. His costume is loud and theatrical, bright red with exaggerated details, like something you'd see under the big top. But his expression and body language tell a different story. He's broken, his body slouched forward, his gaze distant. His hands clutch the slippers, a small but significant detail. These slippers, which are symbolic of his role as an entertainer, are now useless. The implication? The show has come to a standstill. The contrast between his flamboyant outfit and his raw grief is jarring. It's as if Doré is reminding us that the costumes, the makeup, and the show are all just a facade. Even the dog plays a symbolic role in this scene. Dogs are often associated with loyalty and tenacity, but here the dog's gaze is fixed on the child, a silent, unwavering presence in a moment of tragedy. In many works of art, animals are used to embody human emotions. This dog's sorrow is a reflection of the family's grief, but perhaps it's also a reminder of the enduring loyalty that family provides, even in moments of great pain. The playing cards scattered in front of the mother carry their own weight of meaning. Cards have long been associated with fate, chance, and luck. Here, their disarray suggests a loss of control or a game gone awry. Perhaps they symbolize how the family's life, once guarded by skill and precision, has now fallen victim to fate's cruel hand. They also hint at the unpredictability of circus life, where every performance is a gamble with the unknown. The musical instruments lying on the ground are equally significant. Instruments often symbolize harmony, creativity, and the joy of performance. In this context, however, their abandonment could be seen as a symbol of silence and the end of the show. The fact that they are no longer being played signifies the sudden cessation of music, entertainment, and the joy it brings. The instruments lie aside, discarded, much like the hopes of the family members as they confront the tragedy before them. Finally, the chained owl is a particularly striking element of the painting. Owls traditionally symbolize wisdom, intuition, and, at times, death or the supernatural. However, this owl is chained, a powerful symbol of captivity and restraint. Its presence may represent the family's entrapment in their roles as circus performers, where freedom is an illusion and they were not wise when they should have been. More to that, just as the owl's flight is restricted, so too is the family's autonomy. They are bound by their dependence on the circus for survival, much like the owl is bound by its chain. To understand this painting fully, we need to take a step back and consider the world Gustave Doré lived in. The 19th century was a time when circus performers occupied a peculiar space in society. On one hand, they were celebrated for their incredible physical feats and stunts. On the other, they were seen as outsiders, nomads who lived on the margins of polite society. The phrase "rags to riches" often didn't apply to circus folk. They could achieve fame, but wealth and stability were rare. Acrobats in particular had it rough. Their bodies were their tools, and one wrong move could result in severe injury or worse. Safety nets weren't always guaranteed, and performers were constantly aware that their livelihood was tied to their physical health. If you've ever seen a trapeze artist or a tightrope walker, you've probably felt that flash of anxiety as they wobble for a split second. Imagine feeling that every day of your life. It's believed that Doré's inspiration for the Acrobats came from a real-life tragedy. Stories circulated of street performers and circus families who lost loved ones due to accidents during performances. Knowing this, it's easy to see how this painting goes beyond the family in the frame. It's a reflection of the broader experience of circus performers at the time, an acknowledgement of their daily risks, their hidden pains, and their profound humanity. One of the most powerful tools in Doré's artistic arsenal is chiaroscuro, the dramatic use of light and shadow. He's used it masterfully in this piece. The faces of the mother and child are bathed in a soft, almost holy light, drawing our eyes directly to them. It's as if the world has dimmed around them, placing their grief at the center of the universe. The background, in contrast, is steeped in shadow. Fellow performers, onlookers, and even the objects around them fade into obscurity. This artistic choice creates a sense of isolation, like the family's sorrow exists in the world apart from everything else. It's a powerful way of conveying that, in moments of deep grief, the rest of the world seems to disappear. Gustave Doré was no stranger to themes of suffering. As an artist, he's best known for his illustrations of Dante's Inferno and the Bible, works that tackle profound questions about morality, loss, and redemption. His decision to depict a circus family in the throes of grief suggests that he saw something sacred in their story, a quiet nobility in their pain. Doré's ability to capture both the theatrical and the human aspects of the circus world shows his deep empathy for his subjects. While it's unlikely that he was a circus performer himself, he had a profound respect for their craft. This empathy is what makes the Acrobats so powerful. It's not a spectacle for the viewer's enjoyment. It's a reminder that performers are people too, with real struggles and real heartache. Did you know that the Acrobats wasn't initially celebrated? While Doré's biblical illustrations made him a household name, this more human-focused work flew under the radar. It's only in more recent years that art historians have begun to recognize its emotional depth. If you've made it this far, I have a question for you. Did you initially see the depth of this painting, or did it hit you as we went through it together? That's the magic of art. It invites us to look, to pause, and to think. Doré's The Acrobats is a masterclass in empathy. It's a reminder that, while circus acts may dazzle us with death-defying stunts, there's often an untold story of struggle behind the curtain. Thank you for taking this journey with me. If you found this story as moving as I did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your interpretation of the symbols in this painting? What do you think the slippers or the dog's gaze represent? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. See you next time as we uncover more powerful stories hidden in plain sight on the canvas.